So there's the flags. Looking north on Moore Park Road. Steve Feeney's property on the right. County park land over there. Open camping for up to 14 days at a time. Old help campsite. Lots of trails, fire pit over there. Little parking lot over there. Public lands. RGGS lands down here. Nice maples. Maybe now's the time to acquire them. And we go into here is where the sugar bush area. Everyone knows where the men's room is there, right off to the right there. See both. And then we come down through here. Stacks of wood that people brought in. People sitting around the fire. We got a pan that's going to go on top of that, no warmer. Galvanized pan for holding on to sap.
That's my tub.
65. That's your tub. Looks like it's going to be a cold tub rather than a hot tub, but it should fit you. Okay, there's 265 food grade. See the galvanized over here, food grade, and the flat pan we got coming in is galvanized. Everything's food grade. 265 gallon containers. Got to remember to drop the spigots off for that. Yeah. There's the supply depot over there. Here's one of the trails. Let's take a walk. Be a little shaky, no doubt, because it's in the woods and we're bobbing along here. We'll stabilize it a little bit later on in iMovie or whatever. Nice little cleared path here. And as we go down here, we're going to find, this is right behind the sugar bush boiling site. I think that pan's going to hold 30-40 gallons at a time. There's our first maple. We've heard about this artesian maple here tree in the past, gushing out about 10 gallons of sap last year. It's got the bag, blue bag. It's got the food grade ice cream bucket. See that? There it is. It's got the hose coming down. There's the line going up, right there. 2 gravity tubes and taps. And of course the galvanized steel pans of years ago that people saw with the little teepee hood. And we've got a trail that's marked and going down this way. You can see some bags in there. Some buckets, a few orange markers on the trees that kind of gave way. I think we counted, I think there's 13 or 15 down that way. And then we're going to go this way, which is south. Setting sun. Beautiful 35 degrees at its height today, while we had about 15 people out here doing different things, stacking wood, bringing in wood from town, from a wood donator. People putting bags on holders. People keeping a little fire going, cleaning up snow, shoveling over at the sugar bush area so it melts off. A couple of those galvanized on each side. And as we walk into this maple syrup grove, typically we would do some culling. We're actually, according to some notions, over tapping the number of trees and small trees, but that's on purpose actually, because some of these trees, if they were being treated like a sugar bush proper, would be called out. There's beautiful yellow birch over there too that's going to be tapped when the maple syrup maple sap stops running. There's the what I would call the northern path going down there. That goes all the way up to the north about a couple hundred feet, and there's about 20 to 30 down that particular trail. And when we go over this way, we're looking back toward the sugar bush, and there's another 30 or 40 buckets and blue bags over here, which is west. And then lots of stuff going on here as we're headed south out toward the road. And we've got a lot of, like we said, a lot of small trees tapped, some that under all circumstances would be culled out. Here's a good example, another like the artesian maple. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps on this batch of maple. Sugar Farm senses is that you'd be taking a lot of this out and letting 1 or 2 of these, actually 1, spread out its root system and allow its crown to shape out completely, not being crowded by any other trees. But we really are walking into a unworked sugar bush area. That is, it hasn't been culled for other trees. No thinning yet. It's not allowed right now under the MFL designation it has. And out to here, to the roadway, which is running along the right side here. Across the street is the Ground Zero camp, Finnish camp, run by Russell Buck. And he says he'll be tapping tomorrow. And as soon as he heard we were going to put 100 tree taps out, he said he was going to do 100 tree taps, and he came back and said he was going to do more than that. Here's the one tree that this afternoon about 3 o'clock, it's about 4:30 now and the sun's starting to go down, we looked at a couple times. Actually, we're going to look at it again. Look at that. There is a maple icicle. I'm going to eat it. It's freezing in there. Now, just a few minutes ago, on my refractor, I believe it's called, that came up as 4% sugar, which is really good. It is the beginning of the season, so your sugar content is higher. That, by the way, is a Southside tree tapping. Out of 115 taps we put in this afternoon, we had 10 that were dripping at one point. This one up in front did the most. A couple others had a few drops. A few icicles formed right away with these because it got out to the tap and froze right back up on the tap. And actually, let's see. Yeah, look at that. We've got a couple drops of sap down in that bag. A good sign. We got at the front end. We actually had one little quart jar that had a couple inches of sap water that we shared around to all the participants that came out today. We were surprised when one of the trees ran. The beautiful sound of that little dinging in one of the galvanized pails. And again, another bag with what looks like might be just a couple drops today. Okay, so I'm going to pan because the sun's going down. Help camp on public land used to be just over there a little ways, or the sun's going down now. And we're going to pan over here. That ridge over there and in between here and there is where Joe Rose Sr. from Bad River Reservation, our elder, said there would never be a mine, and it doesn't look like there will be one. We've got to come together and figure out how to protect this site now that the Gogebic Taconite, the so-called mining company, has pulled out. perhaps learn how to tap these maples. There's thousands of them up here. Very, very heavy density of sugar maple trees. I'm going to be testing several more of these trees at 4%. That's a nice high sugar rate. It's about 1 to 30 or so in terms of your sap to syrup ratio. And we're going to do the best we can to pick up as much sap as we can this year. Oh geez, look at that. Here's a mush just taking his late afternoon nap. Must have been a long day today up in the Penokees. And those blue bags stand out. I want to say miigwech to everyone that's helped out, set up the camp. We got 115 in, and by the end of the week, we may be closer to 200 in this area here. We got some people that are going to go tap some treaty trees over on public property across from Whitecap Mountain Resort. And those are some nice maples over there. Maybe we'll catch up to you over there. Bani ma minawan, miigwech.
Wash me from the mountain's clear blue stream. Please take a stand for life and land and know